Hey, what's up YouTube? It's ICU. Today we're going to be talking about something rather awesome. Now, if you've been on the internet at all recently, you'll know that Tesla is planning on releasing a brand new game that essentially turns your car into what is basically a game console. So as you may have guessed from the title and thumbnail of this video, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into it though, if you yourself are interested in purchasing a Model 3, S, or X, whether it be a new or inventory vehicle, just be sure to do so through the URL getsupercharging.com. You'll be immediately redirected to Tesla. The only real difference is that you're going to get 1,000 miles of completely free supercharging. For those of you who don't know, supercharging is like the gas station equivalent for electric vehicles, specifically Teslas, because well, Teslas are the only ones that can use it. Basically, you get 1,000 free miles from getsupercharging.com. Just configure your vehicle that way. It really couldn't be any easier. Don't miss out. If you're already going to get a Tesla anyway, it's basically a no-brainer. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this video. Now, Tesla over the weekend started rolling out a brand new update to Model 3 owners as well as S and X. For the Model 3 here, we are actually running 2019.20.4.2, which seemingly has the exact same feature set as its predecessor, being 2019.20.4.1, which was the update that actually introduced this brand new feature. And the latest one, which I just mentioned, has the exact same feature set. So now when you tap this little arrow to bring up your drawer, it is redesigned, which I actually wanted to talk about in a separate video, but you'll see we have two separate things now. On the right hand side, we have Toy Box and we have Arcade. Now, Toy Box will be available when you're actually driving the vehicle, but Arcade will be restricted to when you're in park. So as you can see here, we are definitely in park. If you actually put your vehicle in drive or reverse, or you're actually driving, you'll see that Arcade is grayed out and you just can't tap on it. It just goes away like so. So you have to be in park for Arcade to unlock. And basically this is just Tesla making this easier to access. It is still available if you tap the T up in the top right there, and then you swipe down. Boom, there's the Toy Box. That's what Tesla calls it. It's available right there. You can also more easily access it now just by tapping on that drawer and then tapping Toy Box. So there you go. You have a few different ways to access it, and then it's right there. It's Tesla Arcade. So let me exit out and show you guys just entering it through that drawer, just like that. So now we still have the exact same games that we had previously, so some Atari games, but up at the top we now have Beach Buggy Racing 2. So we tap it and it says Beach Buggy Racing 2 Tesla Edition is a fanciful kart racer where you drive your own actual car in an action-packed race to the finish. So it's pretty cool. You actually get your own car represented through the game, and there are some customized options for the Tesla. This game was actually available on Android first, as many of you know, but the developer worked closely with Tesla to actually port it over, and it works very, very well. Now, a couple things before we actually get straight into the demo and gameplay. You get this warning message every single time you actually try to bring it up through the Arcade. That's just because Tesla wants to make sure that you 100% understand and are clear on operating this game inside of your vehicle. Because remember, this is a car first, not a console first, obviously. This is just something cool that it can do extra. So the warning screen says, do not use the gear stock or accelerator pedal while playing. The vehicle's front wheels will move when you turn the steering wheel during the game control. Keep the area around the front wheels clear while playing games with the steering wheel. Additionally, you must be prepared for vehicle controls like accelerator, brake pedal, and gear stock to resume normal driving control functionality as soon as you exit the game. Do not allow children to play unattended. That's absolutely critical, guys, because the wheel is still going to move. If you press the accelerator, it's not going to just immediately lurch forward because you're not in gear. So you're still in park, obviously. You only want to use the brake and the steering wheel to control. There's also another method, being touch, to control the vehicle, but that's really not what we're here for. So let's go ahead and tap on OK to that warning now because we've accepted it. So you can see it's just going through the splash screen here, and it actually loads incredibly quickly. I'm really surprised by this, and immediately we have the volume playing as well. And I tried to just turn it down here on the steering wheel, and it wasn't working. I could have sworn it had worked when I was testing it previously, but we're just going to turn it down using the top right there. You can see that we do still have access to a couple things. We have the T logo up at the top. We have these 3 lines, which will bring us back to the arcade, or we can tap on exit. But here we go. This is the main screen, or the game selection screen, when you actually launch up Beach Buggy Racing 2. We have the vehicle portrayed here, which is a Tesla Model 3. It's black. We have the standard black rims as well. So you can see that's represented there too. So let's go ahead and just go into 1 player. This is actually a 2-player game, but unfortunately you do have to use touch controls. One person can't use the steering wheel while the other person uses a plugged in controller, like an Xbox controller, which I actually have right here. You can plug it in through the USB port in the second console. There are 2 USB ports there, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. It would make so much sense to be able to plug this thing in and have someone in the second seat here, or the passenger seat, be able to play or race against the person in the driver's seat using the steering wheel, but that just doesn't work. Maybe it will be available in a subsequent update. I know that would be so cool, and I, for one, would love that. I tried to play it when I was actually testing the game with my girlfriend, but it just didn't work. So let's go ahead and just select our character now. Each character will unlock when you actually perform well in the game. So when you do one map well and you place well or rank well at the end, you will unlock more characters as well as more maps, and each character has their own special ability, so to speak, that you can use once throughout the race. So let's go ahead and tap continue. You can see right there, there's their special ability listed and outlined. Now we have 3 maps unlocked. When you actually start the game, you will only have 1 map unlocked. We're just going to go ahead with the first map, and we're going to select chill to see if we can beat our former record. Now again, remember to only use the brake pedal while playing this game. If you use the accelerator, nothing happens. You can see right here, but you don't want to use the accelerator just in case. Remember to err on the side of caution. Again, I just tried it right there. We did not receive any pop-up in the game, but you can see here we're using the brake. We're definitely not going to beat the high score now, but we're using the brake pedal, and the game is actually braking as well. So the car brakes and then it starts to reverse if you hold it down, just like your typical racer. And we're using the steering wheel to control the actual racer. Here you can see that it is very, very responsive, and it actually gets harder the higher up you go in difficulty. I mean, obviously, but the steering is much more sensitive, it seems, when you go higher. And I even have the sensitivity set to the lowest possible option. Here, when you pause the game, you do have settings, so you can control the steering sensitivity. I have it set all the way down just because even at its lowest setting, it's still very, very sensitive, and it gets even more sensitive the higher up in difficulty you go. And of course, the bots get more, well, they get better. So they're more intelligent the higher up you go in difficulty as well. So let's go ahead and go back. We're going to restart, and I'm actually going to try this time so you guys can get the overall gist of how this works. It's very, very fun. Like I said, it's something really cool to do when you're stopped. You run into power-ups. It's very similar to Mario Kart. You have 2 different power-up options that you can do. Again, kind of like the latest Mario Kart. And not power-ups, I guess items is more like it. And you can actually use the touch screen right here to launch it off. Or if you don't want to take your hand off the wheel, you can use the right thumb wheel right here, and you can just push it over for the one on the left there. You can see it even has an arrow indicating to push over on the right scroll wheel, and it works just like that. And the same thing goes for the other way for the second option right there, the second item, I guess. You know, it launches it off that way if you push it over to the right. And then the left scroll wheel is your ultimate that I talked about previously that you can use once throughout each race. So I'm gonna have to kind of do bad here for a second. Let me just go ahead and pump the brake so that way some other guys can catch up, so I can show you how fun it is to blast people with your ultimate. This one, I just launched right past him. But this one gives you a boost, and it has kind of a boxing glove, and it tries to punch your opponents out of the way. Boom, there you go. Anytime you hit an opponent, it actually shows you what you used to kind of get them off the road or kind of stall them a little bit. And how cool is that, guys? It's just something that I love doing. Those items are incredibly awesome. And you can see here for some of the items that launch backwards, you still do get that indicator. So it's that satisfaction knowing that you've actually, damn it, I hit the oil slick right there. It's that satisfaction knowing that you actually hit one of your opponents out of the way. And once we finish up this lap right here, that will conclude. Each game is essentially just 2 laps, and after we do conclude that, I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like inside of multiplayer, the split screen touch control based version. And you can use complete touch controls if you want. You can see we're actually using them right there as well. But I mean, really, why do that if you're just playing by yourself anyway? So let's go ahead and tap on continue. And now I'm going to tap on 2-player. And we'll just get this started, even though I'm all alone right now. So let's go on the second map here. We're gonna go chill. Again, there are 3 different options. It increases exponentially in difficulty, but this is basically what it looks like. So it accelerates automatically just like before, but you do actually have to tap to turn, which is super unfortunate. It's really not quite as fun, in my opinion, to have to do this, but you do still also have the exact same, power-ups and everything, and it works exactly the same, but obviously you have like less screen real estate, and it's just not as fun to play it this way in the touch format versus the single player steering wheel. And I do really wish that Tesla will add the option to use the controller for the second player and use the steering wheel for the primary player. Tesla, Elon, if you're listening, please make that happen. So guys, that is the awesome, fanciful, as they put it, Beach Buggy Racing 2. I absolutely love it. It's a blast. It's so fun to play if you're parked and you have nothing better to do and you don't have something like a Nintendo Switch with Mario Kart on it handy. It's awesome to be able to use the touchscreen to do more cool things. And I know Elon has said that they want to bring other things to the center console as well. I, for one, would be so stoked if they bring YouTube and Netflix. Supposedly, they're going to work on it. I mean, I saw some stuff. I saw a few tweets about it, and then it seemed like they were deleted or something. So it's unclear if they're working with Netflix and YouTube, or Netflix and Google, I guess, to actually bring those two to Teslas. But if they do, that'll just be so much I don't even know what I said. That'll just be so much more incredible. It'll round out the experience of actually supercharging and being able to do cool things straight on your Tesla without having to bring something extra like a Switch to keep yourself busy if you don't want to do anything around the superchargers. So guys, that wraps up this video. I absolutely love it, like I've been saying throughout the duration of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe if you have yet to for complete Tesla coverage. I'm going to be releasing subsequent videos covering really everything I can think of that's awesome. And if you want to purchase a Tesla vehicle, whether it be a Model 3, S, or X, inventory or new, do so through getsupercharging.com for those 1,000 miles of free supercharging. I mean, if you're getting one anyway, why actually miss out on that, right? So that wraps up this video, guys, and until next time, this is ICU signing out.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon it.